as much as women can say guys don't put effort, we have to acknowledge that you have to be worth the effort, right? So a lot of women, and I will say this, full disclosure as a married guy, right? A lot of women are out here trying to think about, this is what I need, this guy must be like this is what... It doesn't work like that, guys. As men, it takes time for us to build ourselves, right? And it takes time for us to come into our own and become those things that you guys want. So I just feel that sometimes women are a little overzealous, right? A little excited about it. Like, you want me to be this thing, I get it. You want this thing, but it's like, I'm human, you're human, right? It's supposed to be a journey together.
The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. Strongholds to break, got long walks to take, got no votes to make. We don't bet, we pray. Hey, African man, yeah. The African male iris through the eye of an African male.
Introducing the breath whisperer.
All right. Okay, all right, fellas, let's talk about something real for a second. We all know the pressures of being a man in this world. Societal expectations, relationship struggles, finding your purpose as a man. It can all weigh heavy. But what about taking care of the inner workings of yourself? It's time to stop neglecting that crucial element of being a whole man. That's why today we're bringing in a special guest who's all about empowering men. And yes, it's a woman. To prioritize their well-being. A woman who is very concerned about men's well-being. All right? Let's all give a warm welcome to Bonini Kusano, founder and owner of Bonini Co. Beyond Knowing. Also known as the Breath Whisperer. You let us know in detail what that.
We shall.
All right. All right.
It's not too high for me.
Thank you for joining us, Bonini. Bonini was part of the last live event we had, and she approached us to do a collaboration. And when she came to us and she said she advocates for men, she's very much into men's health and wellness, we were just like, wow, okay. It's
That's the first.
A breath of fresh air. So yeah, Bonini, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Very well. I'm surrounded by men.
Right.
Tell me a single woman who wouldn't be happy to be around men.
A round of applause for Bonini, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about Bonini Co.
So I will not go that route. It's a Saturday.
Okay, it's a Saturday.
Afternoon,
All right.
the sun is about to go down. So I'm going to introduce what Bonini Co. is about by just tapping into a couple of things. And I'm going to start with a couple of disclaimers, 3 disclaimers actually. The first disclaimer is going to be, it's too high.
Oh, can you guys hear?
The first disclaimer, okay, is number 1, I'm going to be raw and direct.
Someone likes raw.
Yeah, I don't know which
Overlay.
kind of raw though. Right? And then the second thing, the second element to that is that I'll be nice, somewhere in between. And the third one is I'm going to speak to you who is listening. I'm going to be speaking to the hidden parts about you when I tell you about what my company does, or the company that I have formulated and traveled a journey with over the last 8 years. It is a company that started out of understanding various aspects of life that go beyond the spoken word, that go beyond what my eyes can see, that go beyond what I can hear and feel and touch. Bonini Co. Beyond Knowing, the name itself speaks volumes. The first one being the obvious, which is my name. The core, which is short for company, because I like being a sum total of everybody else. I am because we are. Beyond knowing is understanding the interplay, the interceptions, the interruptions, and the Venn diagrams of things that I do not understand about life. Outside the KPIs, outside the career goals, outside of my physical desire that my senses tell me that I need to connect with, there is something else that is magical about who we are here on earth. And that is what Bonini Core Beyond Knowing is about. And I think, because I like the fact that you're nodding, is what you are alluding to when you're saying when you come to the match and dating space, come free to explore. There is parts of our existence that is continuously exploring and is designed to explore. And one is one of those elements that does that. So Bonini Core, it's about living and understanding the Kigai inside of you. It's about understanding how things end up turning out the way they do, which I call a kismet. Do you all know what is a kismet?
No.
It's a serendipitous moment.
That's even worse.
That's even worse.
Yes. No, I know.
It is fate. It is destiny. It's things that you don't know how they got to come into existence and they don't make sense to you. It's things that then psychologists will say is your subconscious mind, which then connect to your superconscious. So I work with the connectivity between your mind and body. And there are various disciplines and modalities that I do in doing that. I work with breath, I work with silence, and I work with sleep. What the fuck? Like, hello. It's all basics, right? It's all things that we all take for granted. But at some point in your life, any of those things are the ones that will dictate the quality of your life. Across all gender, across all races, no matter whether you live in a double story, you have a home in the best street address, if your quality of sleep is not good by the time you are 40 and going into your 50s, you will have dementia and Alzheimer's. If you're not breathing well, your breath is the first thing that will tell you at any given point in time when your body and mind is out of kilter. It's either a sigh, it's either a yawn, or a heart palpitation. When every else is not working well, your quality of sleep is a shit show. It keeps you up at night. So these are the fundamentals that govern our existence. And when I talk men's health, I then focus on 3 aspects. The first one, which I lead with, is then sleep, then it's mood, and then it's energy. I'm sure all of us have all seen the amount of energy drinks that are consumed, right? Don't you all wonder why? Don't you ever wonder why?
No.
Because something is wrong. You don't have energy. And you don't have energy, as a result, your mood is going to be horrible. Your temperament. This is what we then realize as toxic tendencies, right? We leaning towards then substance abuse. Then the third one then is your quality of sleep is going to be hampered because of the sugar and caffeine that is in there. So then the quality of your life in general is not a pleasant thing to live in. And yes, you may have the best medical aid, the premium medical aid of medical aids, but then that's what all you're working for because you're managing a health that is in disarray. So that's what I do in a nutshell. As I say, I work with the interceptions, the interplays, the interruptions, the various lenses in your life that give you indicators that things are not right, that then influence your ikigai, right? What is your purpose? That then influence your kismet, where you end up being and who you end up attracting. So I love it that we have standards as ladies. I love that about us. I love that we've allowed ourselves to literally grow to that level. But honey, you're the common denominator. So the fact that it's the same kind of guys that keep on coming to you, then it's about time we also check ourselves, isn't it?
It's about time you start sleeping right.
There we go.
Yeah.
So,
Wow,
when you
interesting.
when you get someone that comes to you who's having those issues in terms of breathing problems and sleeping issues, what do you usually, how do you analyze or what do you ask that person to try and go deeper into the root cause?
So because I work with the body, there's various things that I do that help you to then go into relaxation. So when your body, in fact, let's use then the part of your body that's called the nervous system. It's a continuum, right? It has the parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the one that then speaks the loudest when we're under stress. And the parasympathetic is then the rest and digest, is the one that keeps us calm. So most of us are always here, right? We're always fighting a war, running away from something or hiding from something, right? So it's about then understanding which intervention is going to work to help me to do that. And that intervention, the intervention that I use is the very intervention that would have told you that you're not okay, which is your breath. So when we are under stress, we do a shallow breath. So we can even do that exercise together right now, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Shall we?
Yeah.
So just breathe and just imagine that you're breathing from your breast area upwards. That's where you're drawing your breath. Do it whether you're breathing in through the mouth or using your nostrils. Just go in and out. Be quiet. You can even close your eyes if you wish to. And just keep on doing that, but now do it consciously. And then notice how you feel. I'm going to time you. I've already started counting. What did you say?
We didn't hear you, brother. It's okay.
Right? Now, I'm going to and then introduce you to another area below that, below your breast all the way towards your navel. I want you to swallow before you go there. And then just breathe from there, in and out. Just normally like you always breathe, but be conscious that you're now breathing. I like what I see here on my right. Did you see your posture corrected itself as well?
Yeah.
Right?
That's interesting.
And then now compare the two. How did you feel if you compare the first breath, where you drew your first breath from, and the second breath?
Prayer, how did you feel?
The first one felt like I was still tense, but the second one was more relaxing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So why is that? Right? So this is the part then I then introduced you to make you aware of how the body has been breathing all along. Because when I'm under stress, I need to fight someone, right? That's what the language that the body reads. I need to run or I need to hide, right? So fight, flight, or freeze, right? So when I am running from somebody or I'm about to hit someone, so your body literally only sends blood flow to your extremities, which is your limbs, your arms and your legs. That is what is needed. So you need a high intensity breath, which is what the heart is pumping. So hence then it's just the heart area that is focused. So hence then your heart will also race quite significantly because you're working hard. So there's adrenaline, there's cortisol, so you need to get going and get moving and do what needs to be done. However, the other breath then allows you then to move from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. Immediately when you do that, that is the cue for the brain to say, oh, we're no longer under stress, we're no longer in danger, therefore all the other organs can get access to the breath, the oxygenated breath. What does that require? Taking in more oxygen. You saw, he opened up a bit more. So your body then takes in more oxygen because that's what the body needs in order for you to thrive.
Okay.
Is it related a lot to meditation?
So meditation is a different modality as well, but almost all of the interventions that are there as far as therapeutic and alternative therapy is concerned, they work with the mechanics of the body, right? The biology, the chemistry that then forms the physics of the body, right? Which is then governs how the musculoskeletal structure of our existence get to be, right? How you get to end up having arthritis, how you get up to having kidney failures and all of that. So everything is linked to literally the quality of your life, which then the first indicator, as I said, start noticing how you are breathing.
So why is your main focus men?
Right, men is not my only target audience.
Yes, I understand.
So there is other subsets of target audiences that we approach. However, my story behind starting the men's brand or adding it to our services was born out of a male person that used to come to my events, who then identified that within workplaces, a lot of men do not make use of their EAPs, programs that are there. Number one. Number two, corporate spaces, they make the loudest noise when it's August and it's Women's Month, right? But there is never a time where it's about celebrating men. So men then don't often feel safe in any environment where they feel that they are celebrated and they can be themselves. So what we have created under our Men's Wellbeing series is creating a platform where we engage with men, but giving them tools on the know-hows and then pinpointing things that they can relate to that are not okay, because also men are the last people to always go to the doctor. They go to the doctor at the 11th hour when things are really wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, does your spectrum of services, is it just around the physical well-being of an individual, or it goes beyond that?
So we offer our services as master classes, we offer our services as retreats, we offer our services as one-on-one, and we also do wellness supplements, gift packs. So that's the sort of solutions that we offer. So for example, the retreats that we have a burnout retreat as well as a silent retreat. The silent retreat is combined with plant medicine. So there we really go deep, and then we use breath as well. So if you really want to understand why you keep on attracting the same things, this is the sort of retreat that you want to come to.
Wow.
All right. Do we have anyone in the audience who struggles with sleep patterns? Sure. Bonini, is there just one or two questions that you want to know from Joao, who struggles with sleeping?
No, he needs to lead me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
How you want to be led? I don't know.
You need to lead me in terms of what are you struggling with?
Life.
With sleep.
I don't know, but I
Just put it closer to you.
it's I don't know how I can put it, but I struggle to have a deep sleep, if I can say that. Like when someone goes to the bathroom, I wake up. I'm very light sleep, so I sleep every day at least I think for 4 hours only, 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because I really struggle to sleep.
Okay. Okay.
So how can I do better?
All right.
All right.
So-
So for those who didn't hear, Joao was just saying he only gets a regular 3 to 4 hours of sleep every day. So he struggles with sleep patterns, and Bonini was about to respond as well.
Cool. So sleep, in textbook material, they'll say sleep for 7 to 8 hours, right? It's not necessarily true, right? Our quota for sleep is all different. So 4 hours is not a problem. It's a question of when you are identifying with the fact that, what we need to tap into, when you identify with the fact that you're not getting good sleep and you can easily wake up, can you actually hear your thoughts running over and over again? So you are partially sleeping, right? You don't go into the deep sleep as you say. So this is now where we now talk the term sleep hygiene, right? Typically, your typical day from waking up to going to sleep. You need to take me through that, right? So that we need to understand what are you putting in your body from what time, right? Caffeine will keep you up at night. Sugar will keep you up at night. The content that you watch will keep you up at night, right? The blue screen will keep you up at night. If you are a head person, meaning you're continuously in your head overthinking, that will keep you up at night. So it's now about understanding what is the new strategy that I need to introduce into my life. What is a new intervention that I need to introduce to my life? Being, I need to consciously say no to certain engagements. I need to consciously shut down at a certain time so that I can allow myself to sleep. So also the type of exercise that you do can also contribute to that, and what time of the day you do it. So if you're already somebody who's suffering with sleep, for example, what I want you to walk away with right now is the following. So if you're a person then who do high energy activities in the evening, that is contributing to your poor quality of sleep. Why? Because when you're exercising, your body then ejects cortisol and adrenaline. Those are performance hormones, right? So therefore, it's already adding to you maybe being an overthinker. The overthinking interruptive strategy that you use or how you intercept with life comes with cortisol, because the body has read that we need to work. We need to do something that is stress related, which is working and overthinking. So you're adding gas to fire by then doing your activity in the afternoon or in the evening. So move it to earlier in the day, number one. Then the second part is that you delay your intake of coffee, right? In the morning especially. Take it around 10, 11 if then that is still then your choice of drug, right? Or eliminate it altogether. So it's literally about working with an elimination method and understanding what, in my typical day, what are the things that I do, and then we work on that and identify them. Then swap it to 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Okay? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So then, would content, blue screen? Yes. Do you have TV in your bedroom? Okay. So yes, so then you swap this with reading a book or play music and dancing with your baby. No, I'm being real, because then it's oxytocin, right? You're releasing another hormone there, which is oxytocin. Oxytocin is about nursing, coming together, feeling good. So that is similar to you having sex, but without penetration.
Wow.
I've got a question.
Someone's not happy.
I just shortchanged you.
Someone's not happy. She was like, why? Slim, you what?
Yeah, I've got a question. I'm just going to take us back a bit. And looking at it from a holistic point of view, right?
Can you lean
Yes, looking at it from a holistic point of view, right? You did mention that all the three spheres that you work on affect your quality of life.
Yeah.
All right. So essentially, what you're saying is that we don't get to enjoy the benefits of living because they're things that we're not doing right.
Yeah.
Obviously, from a physiological point of view, from a mental point of view, and from a spiritual point of view, right? So, I would like to take myself as a poor spirit when it comes to that, right? Upon engaging your services, right, what is it that's going to change in my life? Or what is it that's going to change in terms of my quality of life that will then unlock the benefits of getting your services?
I love that question because you're making it about me, right? And this is the part where I get to be raw and real and direct.
Right.
You need to want the change. It's not about me.
Okay.
I work with people that are prepared to do the work. So you come to me because you have a problem, and I can only be your guide.
Right. So does that mean you you almost work based on whatever it is the person comes and
Is
says.
prepared to do. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to tell you textbook stuff and tell you beautiful names that you then use as a crutch. I literally then work at that raw nerve with you because you said it's trauma, it's breaking me apart, it's eating me inside, and I'm tired of it.
Okay.
You have to be tired.
All right.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, we're going to open up. So if you guys have any questions, please prepare them because we're going to take some.
I've got another question as well.
Sure.
I heard you alluding to the fact that most of us are attracting the same kind of things
Yeah.
in our lives because there's something we're not doing right. Could you kindly just, dive deeper into that concept?
Beautiful. Again, you use words that I like, right? That then allow me to say to you, I don't have a right or wrong, right? I don't lead with any of those things. Is then think of it as there are certain ingredients that are prominent in your life right now that are now automated, right? Whether by design or through conditioning that have then contributed to the output of your life.
Okay.
Right? You went to a certain university, you were taught a certain way, right, to understand a subject matter. You then take that and then you make it your own based on your belief system, on your values, on your past experiences, on your cultural experiences, on the practices that you, and then you make it your own. So it is that mixed masala that then gives you the results in your life, right? Some of those results may be good or bad. And what I like about life, as I said, so indicators like your breath will tell you when a strategy has reached its sell-by date.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's why there is no right or wrong. There is a term that we use in the coaching space. It's a preposition that we say, every behavior serves a purpose. So there are certain things that you do now or you're still doing or you did because they served you. Right? It's either I did that to protect myself because I was told that I was talking too much, therefore I tend to retreat, or I tend to have my eyes down when somebody's talking to me because I was told that I'm too direct, right? So that saves me, that protects me, that's where I stay. At some point that is going to choke me because I don't get to be free to be myself.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Any questions or comments from the audience? Hey, you got one?
Trish has got one. I knew Trish had a question.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. I wanted to find out.
Sorry, could you speak up? Just
I
for
wanted to
everyone.
find out what dementia has to do with breath.
Right. So dementia doesn't necessarily have anything necessary to do with breath, but one of the key contributors towards dementia, according to studies, is your quality of sleep when you are under 50 years and between 20 and 50 years. If your quality of sleep was never good enough, then dementia and Alzheimer's will be one of the things, and we see them in our fathers. That's what is happening now. The fact that there's high rate of cancer and diabetes and dementia and Alzheimer's, we need to ask ourselves what has happened in the last 30 years.
Wow. I need to sleep early tonight.
Follow.
Sure.
Does it have anything to do with the genes?
It's also genetic, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Was there any other question?
There was Trish over there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Trish.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Good, and you, sis?
Okay, so I just want to take you back to the energy drink part. Like, so how do you deal with a person who has a problem whereby they say, for me to be able to sleep, I need to have one Red Bull.
Okay.
To sleep, like, all right. Energy drinks are supposed to keep us awake, keep us alert, right? There are people, like, I've encountered a couple of people, my friends, that have energy drinks so that they can sleep, that have to have coffee so that they can sleep. How do you deal with that situation?
Okay.
When I come to you and I tell you, well, I've been having like 2 energy drinks per day or per night for me to be able to sleep. Please help me. How would you help me?
Okay. Right. This is the part that is raw. It's the lies we tell ourselves, right? So when we're still young, right, we all do things because then all the organs are working perfectly fine and they're good. As time moves on, some of the organs will start to compensate what the other organ doesn't do until that organ starts to then crash down. So this is what is going to happen. There's going to be kidney failures eventually, and there's going to be liver issues, right? And your heart is going to also come into play. So how does that start presenting itself? What are some of the symptoms that you're going to see in that person? Headaches, they're going to complain about headache. The quality of their skin is going to be a problem because caffeine hydrates you, right? Whether it's either they're getting eczema, psoriasis, dry, scaly skin, right? Then the other one is your hair falling, right? There is a reason why there is a high rate alopecia, especially in women. So these are all the telltale signs. So ask them to start, because it's easy for us to pacify for me to go with retail therapy, right? I can buy a serum, I can buy something to cover me up, but as you age, you're going to then start seeing the results of that. Then the first chronic disease that you're going to see as a result of that is high blood pressure, right? Then you're going to be given sleeping tablets because then the quality of sleep is also compromised. So it's literally just a poison that you have introduced to your body and use the theory and the narrative that it puts you to sleep. It's a pacifier that you have used for yourself. You know this pacifier that kids have? It's exactly that, what you have done. Not you, your friend.
So basically you're saying it's mental?
Yeah. Sure.
All right, you have
So-
another question here. All right. Can you just say your name?
Hi.
Hi.
I think your answers are not committal because you are asked the questions and then you are very superficial. You don't want to commit yourself. I mean, when you spoke about the mood, the sleep, and sometimes those are affected by spirituality. You can meet somebody that has a bad spirit that's going to affect your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you go deeper in the soul and repair that soul? Because once it's damaged, it's very difficult to bring it back. So how do you do it? I heard you talking about medicinal plant. Do you use medicinal plant?
Plant medicine. Yeah, okay.
You can say it,
Okay.
but it's the same thing.
Sure.
I want to know if you would use that as a therapy, you know, in terms of healing that soul or that mood or the sleep, even though, you know, because I mean, there are plants that are mainly meant for, as a therapeutic plants for sleep, like valerian, ashwagandha, ginseng, and others.
Yes.
So I just want to know, how do you repair, like for a better word, you know, those ailments?
Interferences that are brought by the soul being disturbed.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right. Thank you for also noting when you're saying that my answers are superficial. So, firstly, allow me to lead with my space is limited here, right? So I have to give an answer that is enough to address to everybody and palatable. Number one. Number two, I'm not a soul expert, right? I know what I know within the subset of information that I know based on my practice and what I'm passionate about. So things like soul connectivity and how the soul needs to evolve is not my forte. But if you want to address the issue of sleep on its own, right? And yes, acknowledging the fact that it has been influenced by your spirituality, of which it is something that I connect with in my own personal capacity, then I can take that road with you using the things that I am good at. not testing what I am not good at. Cool.
Cool. Wow. A round of applause, Bonini. I don't know if we've got any more questions.
I've got one.
Okay, Slim's got one more question.
One last question.
Bring
from
them
me.
on.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. One last question from me. I see that you deal with people that have trauma issues.
Yes.
People that have a sleeping disorder.
Yes.
And then people that have pain that is stress related.
Yes.
So obviously, when someone comes to you with those issues, they would have experienced certain symptoms
Yeah.
to tell them that, you know what, there's something that's not right.
Yeah.
Right. So my question rather is, so how does someone come to you and for your services before actually exhibiting any of those symptoms? Is it something that people should do periodically? Is it something that they should only do when they then suffer the symptoms of those three big categories of stress-induced pain and emotional instability?
Yeah.
Or it's something that people should periodically do? So do you get where my question is coming from?
I do.
Is it proactive or it's preactive or it's a combination of both?
Okay, thank you. It's very clear. I think I understand it.
Yeah.
Right. So the precursor to engaging with somebody like me, who is then, I say I'm a breath whisperer because then that's one of the modalities that I lead with, is a yearning.
Okay.
We all get to that age where what you have is not enough. There is a gaping wound. There is something that you can't quite put a finger on, right? It's not necessarily lack of sleep, although it will be affected, right? It's not necessarily a pain on your lower back or a headache or being triggered by someone, but there is something here that is not
just doesn't
enough.
feel right.
Right?
Okay.
And then that's the journey we go on. You notice that I keep on saying journey, right? Because it's about then understanding the mechanics at play, the nuances. It's a conversation, it's discovery, it's exploring. It's then pausing and stopping and pondering for a moment. I wonder why that bothered me, right?
Oh, I see where you're coming from.
Right?
So if my aura just doesn't feel right,
Yes.
it means there's something that's not correct within me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Your body will only ever be triggered by something that it knows. And let me explain that. So for me to be offended by the way he's looking at me, it will be based on the meaning that I attach to that look. He doesn't know that he's offending me. I will interpret that as an offense because inside my hippocampus, the part of my brain that stores all memories, there is somebody who looked at me like that, perhaps, or wore a hat like that, or a shirt like that, and perhaps, I'm not saying you, I got molested by that person, or they touched me in an uncomfortable way. So when you look at me like that, there are part of us, of our existence that is called the reticular activating system, which is called a RES. It acts as an antenna. Beyond what your naked eye can see, that senses, it gets that sense that this person, there is one aspect of them that resembles what my body knows. So there is a concept again that says the body doesn't lie, right? The body keeps a score. So that then tells me I am triggered by something here. I don't know what it is, and therefore I'll end up being offended by you in your whole being. But if I do the work, right? If I then am familiar with understanding that there are people like Bonini that exist, I'm able then to pick up the phone and say, Sissy, I need to come and see you.
Okay, so basically there's a lot of unlearning that needs to be done.
Spot on.
And relearning when it
Spot
comes
on.
to, okay, all right.
Wow.
Okay.
Brilliant stuff.
And I want to thank you, Bonini, for coming through. And in closure, I think what would you want to what message do you want to relay, and how do people reach out to Bonini Co?
Okay, so in terms of reaching out, some of you might have on your table a QR code. So you're welcome to scan that. There's also one on the table that I'm sitting on there, where I'm sitting, where you can scan that QR code. So where you can see some of the programs that we have that are running. I have programs that are free as well that are virtual. So I want to speak specifically to the ladies, right? And I know this gathering leads with men, but I want to then perhaps package why I ended up working with men in closing. So it's because I also had a story around the masculine energy in my generation. I hated my father. I hated all my uncles on my maternal and paternal side of the family. I had no regard, none whatsoever, for any man. For the longest time in all my existence until I hit my 20s, I did not date any man. I've always been a self-reliant person until, obviously, I met a guy from the other side of the Limpopo who knocked me off my feet, and I did not understand why. And I cursed myself because I thought my body was betraying me. I did not understand why did I have to have feelings for him. And that's when me doing the inner work started, because I understood that it's now time for me to change. So if something keeps on triggering you, particularly within men, you need to investigate that for yourself. Do not blame them. They have nothing to do with your triggers. They represent them, but they're not the root cause.
Did you hear that, ladies? Do you agree with it? Yeah, the ladies are quiet. Wow.
So I hope I've left a nugget.
You have
Absolutely.
Something to ponder.
something to ponder.
Guys, I've
Definitely.
elevated you today. I've taken
A round of applause for Bonini one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Bonini, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So she's going to be right here if you'd like to have a chat with her, if you want to know more about what she does. And like she said, there's QR codes on the tables.
Just scan them.
So you can scan, get all the details, and have a chat before she leaves. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Sure, I have gifts for you.
you so
It's
much.
a little something something.
All right.
Right? Yes.
Right. Oh.
So we also have to give them something, guys, every now and then, so that then they can come up with the good, clean
wow.
answers to our 20 questions.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Wow. So
Thank you so much.
Yes.
wow. Thank you so much.
Before she goes, is there anything that you'd want to say about mental health? Seeing that it's
Mental Health Month.
Yes, it's Mental Health Month. Is there anything special that you are putting out there for Mental
yes.
Health Month?
Yeah. Okay, so on the 26th of October, I have a free virtual masterclass for men from 10 to 11, where we're talking about plant medicine, my brother, but specifically spirulina and chlorella, on how to use it for mood, energy, as well as sleep. So these are the superfoods that you can start encapsulating and adding into your beverages, into your smoothies, to help you on a metabolic level and on a cellular level, to then help. Because mental health doesn't only start here, right? It's heartbreaks that then allow your brain then to construct itself in a certain way and to release certain hormones, which then leads to depression and anxiety and all of that. So also the food that we eat influence that, they trigger that. Things like vegetable oil, they contribute significantly to our hormone levels, right? Because then they increase your insulin level. Insulin, where does it end up going? Infecting your manhood. Your manhood, when it's not working well, where does it go? To your head. So it's a lot of things, but this particular masterclass on the 26th of October, it is free, it is for men. It's a private audience with Dr. Toll, our homeopath and family doctor, resident doctor within Bonini Co. So come through, come and understand how you can support yourself in a non-intrusive, non-intimidating way, using bits of things to start feeling good inside of you. A man that feels good about himself, you see it in his walk.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
The motherland, the African man. Long as I'm alive, I'ma make a plan. Strongholds to break, got long walks to take, got no votes to make. We don't bet, we pray. Hey, African man, yeah. The African male iris through the eye of an African male.